Well, let's get back to Canberra now. Joining me is Independent MP Di Lee. Di, great to see you. Of course, we always talk costs of living. Sometimes that Parliament doesn't have it front and centre, but let's make sure it is.
Never.
Look, you would have heard part of my interview with Chris Bowen, the Minister, and I really appreciate him showing up because I think Australians feel gaslit at the moment into believing somehow that they've got the most reliable and cheapest energy system in the world, and we just don't. I pushed him a little bit on price and whether the cost of electricity is coming down. And look, there were no guarantees like last time. There was a bit of dancing around that, but essentially the government is relying on subsidies. And as we've discussed in the past, those subsidies aren't helping people. Well, at least they feel like they don't. Is that still the way that you're seeing it?
Oh, look, absolutely. It's very short term, and I saw the interview and, look, as you said, appreciate that the Minister was there and answering the questions, but I don't see the energy prices will actually go down. I had a roundtable with small to medium-sized businesses a few weeks ago, and you know, I've already spoken on this program about how people, when I go door knocking, talking about the fact that there's causing them so much stress and mental health issues around having to pay increase in energy bills, increase in insurance costs. And I think I probably spoke with you a year or so ago in insurance costs, and no one was talking about the rising cost of insurance, and now people are talking about that. And in addition to the rising cost of rent, and of course the repayments for people who own a home, and the increase in rent. So these issues are just the middle Australia and middle Australians are feeling it, and we often in this Canberra bubble we don't actually talk about that. There's no way that whatever the government's doing, I mean they've spent so far $50 billion in funding for ARENA, the $15 billion in reconstruction fund, the capacity investment scheme. There's about about $8 billion, Rewiring Australia 20. Now, we have solar, and the whole system at the moment, there's no planning around how they can collect the energy, battery, the storage of it, and people are now being charged for exporting because those who've got solar panels have to now pay because they're having so much solar. But consumers, the public, the consumers are having to pay the increasing cost in energy prices. I cannot see how the Minister and the government can say that they're going to provide cheaper electricity bills. The direction is completely different direction, that energy bills going up, and I don't see it going down until they actually, in August, I asked a question about what is the government doing about in looking at the mechanism. Because the market is so volatile, the trading in energy, and
that's right. I mean, the Premier stood up yesterday, Di, and said, you got to turn your appliances off at peak times. I mean, this is going to happen more and more, and people are paying more for that.
Absolutely. And we elect government, they are leaders, to come up with a solution so that Australians and the public have a much, affordable life. But it feels like currently, this government, they're saying, well, maybe, do something at home when they're supposed to fix the whole infrastructure of the energy.
Yeah, that's right.
And therefore, I think it's critical that gas and coal power play a role in this transition, because building the transition lines, I'm thinking, why don't you build, do something now and have some storage, build some storage capacity for those who've actually who've got solar, and providing with consumers some kind of incentive to get the storage or so that they can actually harness the solar energy.
We will see. Di Lee, we'll have to keep it short and sweet today, but you've got plenty going on there in Canberra, so we'll let you get on with it. We'll see you soon. We'll talk to you next week.
Thank you. Thanks, Laura.
Yeah, as mentioned, there's a lot happening in Canberra.